All right, man. Well, you just passed the PMP a little while ago. How did your exam go?
So, I mean, in a nutshell, the exam is not easy. So,
That's
time management was one of the hardest things. Like,
hmm
you have to keep an eye on the clock every question.
hmm
Can't spend too much time. Um, Reading all the material that's on your website,
hmm
along with the PMBOK, because as a reference guide, so you get an
Sure.
idea of all the questions.
Yeah.
And I mean, by taking enough practice questions,
hmm
you get an idea of what they're looking for
That's cool.
when they ask you questions like, "Oh, what would you do next?"
Right, right.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
And so kind of like everybody has like a little bit of journey. Like, what was your journey getting here? I know you work at a big corporation. You took some stuff there. How did you talk us through kind of your journey?
So um, I signed up for a boot camp at
hmm
my workplace. It was very long.
Yeah.
I was still enrolled in it and attending those classes if I could, but they were just at a awkward time.
hmm
That's not I couldn't attend those, and it was a lot of people on a WebEx call, so asking questions was impossible.
Okay.
So I mean, it it was nice that you could hear from people who were teaching. They all
hmm
had PMPs, but everyone had their own opinion on how you should study. But everyone's not the same.
Sure.
So the reason I liked yours a little better was everything was just
hmm
out there on the website. You could say like the PM1 view.
Yep.
Like I looked at it every day just so I
Okay.
know where everything is. Probably one of the best tools.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah.
All right, that's awesome. And what like for people that don't know, like what is the PM1 view other than so let's
So
start
I
to get
mean,
to it.
like breaking down every process, tool set, techniques, and the best part about that was that you can click on them and
hmm
gives you a definition
hmm
of what that process is or that tool or technique is if you don't know or you don't want to go searching for it since everything is out on that website. So
That's cool.
I took a look at it every day just so I know where everything is.
That's cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that was one of those things that was made out of need. It was like instead of doing like flip, flip, flip,
Right.
flip, flip, it was like, oh well, let's try to visualize. Okay, click it, and we can,
Yep.
with the power of the computer machines. So that's good. So as you went through, a lot of people ask me like, how do I know if I'm going to be ready? How do I know if I'm ready? Like, was there a point when you felt confident where you knew you were ready, or was it just I have to take it? Like, how did it go in your mind?
So I mean, the first thing I did was you have to sign up for a date because if you
Yeah,
don't, then you're just going to keep dragging it on.
very true. Very true.
That gave me a timeline. I need to know everything by this day. And
Yep.
then, I mean, looking at the material, and I took so many practice exams that at one point I was like, this is just repetitive now, and I know it.
Yeah.
So
So,
another thing I looked, I mean, at least 2 or 3 times was the flashcards
mhm.
that were on your website. I think it was
That's
like
cool.
800 of them.
Yeah.
So that was, even though the material is already in the
Mhm.
videos, it's like a good way to quiz yourself.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's right. That's cool. So, like, as you've gone through why did you originally want to get the PMP?
So I right now I'm a project manager.
hmm
So I saw that, oh, everyone has this. So I took a look at it. So you know how it can help you in the future. So I
hmm
was like, let me go and let me see if I can do this. At
Right.
first I thought I can't because the PMBOK is a drag.
It's very
And
true.
then I just started looking to see if anyone can make it easier
hmm
or help me understand it better. And then I was like, okay, we'll do this.
That works.
Yep.
That works. That's cool. And
Yeah.
so, like, at your normal, now that you have it, you've passed, you did well. Are you looking at your job any differently now? Little tricks and tips and stuff making you a better project manager? Anything with
Uh,
that now that you take it back?
Yeah. So there's a lot of things like the way I was taught to do,
hmm
and now that I know like how PMP looks at like stakeholder meetings or
hmm
putting quality in your works, like those were things that not the same way I used to do things. So
hmm
it's a little different, but I was like, this is really interesting. and look at it a different way now.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's good. And like, so how did the actual exam go? You took it what, in a place or on the
Yes.
computer? Okay.
I took it at a center just to be safe.
Yeah.
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 So,
Well,
the getting up early was a little difficult, getting there at 8 a.m.
I
But
can understand.
the exam itself wasn't bad. I mean, they walk you through the tutorial on how to take the questions. Um, the hardest part I would say is I'm not sure if all the test centers are the same, but at mine they gave me a little laminated sheet to do
Yeah.
the math problems, and you had to keep erasing them when you run out of space.
Ah, that sucks. Yeah.
And my quad test for some reason had a lot of math problem,
Oh, okay.
so it was not hard because math is a strong suit for me, but
Yeah.
it just erasing them and writing it just took us so much time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And so how did you manage your time as you were going through that process?
So what I did was, since you get about 1.2 minutes for each question,
Yep.
I quickly read the question and I tried to eliminate what I could.
Mm-hmm.
And then kept an eye on the clock to, like, if I have for sure, I would go past it. If I don't, I would mark one of the answers and flag it.
Okay.
So at the end, I could come back and see if I could make up some time in between. Another thing that helped was, since they don't count 25 questions because of the
Yeah.
yeah.
They're
So
testing.
right. So I kept an eye on like agile words
Mm-hmm.
to just as a like a reference to maybe this might not count.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's one of those things like you can talk yourself into like, hey,
right,
this is kind of like
right,
outside the normal scope. Maybe they're trying to test it for the new version. Yeah.
right. So I try to make up time by answering those quickly, and I finished the exam early.
Oh, okay.
So that just keeping an eye on the clock, because some of the questions like drawing out I had to draw out the diagram to calculate float.
Oh,
Took
wow.
forever.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like one question. So you're like,
Right.
it'd be cool if it was like, well, now you get 20 derivative questions, but like it's one. So you're like,
It's just one question calculating float, so it took forever to do that.
yeah, that's cool. So that's great. And then when you went to hit the button or let the time elapse, how confident were you?
So I was thinking I was like question 198. I'm like, oh, there's only 2 left. This
Yeah.
is the worst. And I hit end of review, submit, and it tells you twice, are you sure you want to submit this? I'm like, well, I'm not sure, but
I'm gonna do it anyway.
right. And then the hardest part was the last screen where it tells you if you passed or not.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to peek at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I'm
But
glad you did. Yeah.
I mean, I felt confident because I mean, I don't know if I could have studied anymore, but
Right.
it was a hard exam, but I mean, your material is very clear.
That's cool, man. Well, I'm glad it worked for you and stuff. So there are probably people out there like you that like, oh, I'm getting the PMP. It's gonna help my job. I'm a good project manager now. But maybe like like you did. You looked at the PMBOK and you're like, oh goodness, like this is gonna make things more difficult. So for those kind of people that want to end up in your spot, what would you recommend for them? Like, what's the approach or the way to think about it, or what would be your lessons for those type of people?
I mean, I would say giving PMBOK like at least one reading,
Yeah.
so you know what they are expecting of you, because questions are from like based on that. But like along with your material that you have
Mm-hmm.
full length exams, which is super helpful with
Mm-hmm.
explanations. It's taking enough practice questions, I mean, from anywhere, because that'll give you a time management.
Mm-hmm. You know how to
And
manage it.
yeah, so
That's
and
awesome.
just have a date so you don't
Pushing it
forget
out.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It like kind of creates like there's like
right,
points in law, they call it law, where it's like if you have worked this long, it'll take you that long. If you do this long,
right.
it'll take you that long. So that's awesome. Well, I'm really happy that you did super well. And I appreciate you coming on and sharing with us. And I think you've taught them, like you set some good foundations that they can follow. So yeah, man. So really, really appreciate this, and we're proud of you. And as we
Thank
keep
you.
moving on, just let us know how we can help you, and we'll stay in touch, and all will be good.
Sure.
So,
Thank you. That
thanks.
was a great experience. Thank you.
Awesome. Talk to you later, man. See ya.
So, yeah, bye.
Yes, sir.